I'm putting 50, $100 from each check towards these amazing experiences, and then I'm experiencing them. I'm still investing a solid percentage towards my retirement, and now I have a sustainable plan because I'm enjoying every day of my life. I'm not sacrificing 5 to 10 years hoping that I'll be able to make it so that I can enjoy some more of my life. I'm enjoying now and I'm enjoying the future. We don't want to be on one extreme where we're sacrificing the present for the future, but we don't want to be on the other extreme where we're sacrificing the future for the present. Hi, it's Dre Griggs, the Obsidian Wisdom. Today I answer the question, what are the top 5 retirement indulgences I should embrace right now? When it comes to retirement, there is this one thing that sort of ticks me off that I want to discuss with you guys today. And that is this idea of waiting for retirement to do something. We're always thinking that we're not ready, that we need more money, we need more planning, we just need something. There's always a better time for us to embrace all the beauty that life has to offer. I'm someone who's working on it myself that I don't want to be waiting for everything to be perfect. When teaching economics in high school, I learned a few things along the way. Number one is when the bell rings, class starts. Number two is no matter how prepared you are, things happen. And the third thing that I learned is the more times I did it, the better I got at it. And when you really take a step back and think about it, what I'm saying is when the bell rings, I had to start. Whether I was prepared or underprepared, whether I knew exactly what I was going to say or I didn't, that was a great experience because it helped me to realize that even though I wasn't the most prepared or I wasn't all the way comfortable, that once I got started, things always got better. Sure, I made mistakes, and the beauty is I learned from them. And so when the next period started, I got to try again. I got to do it all over again. And no matter how prepared I was for my first period, I always learned something that made the second period better. And then the third period and the fourth period and the fifth period, every time I got to do the same thing over and over again, I always learned something and it always got better. I don't want you waiting for your retirement to learn the lessons. I want you to learn them along the way so that when you retire, everything is beautiful. So we're talking about the 5 indulgences that you need to embrace before retirement. The first one on our list is travel and adventure. The world has a lot to offer. There's so much food and cultures and experiences out there. Many people haven't left their own country or even their own state, and some haven't even left their own city. I'm not saying that you have to travel across the world, but if that's what you want to do in retirement, why not start now? Why not experience a little bit of what traveling looks like? Maybe you can have it where there's more structure, where you travel with a group, or you can travel in a cruise, where they already set the itinerary for you, and it just gives you that feel. And along the way, you're going to realize, well, I like the fact that we went to a variety of restaurants. And you may say, I wasn't really a fan of the hiking and the mountain climbing. And then you're able to kind of put your own events together so that when you're ready to retire, you know exactly what you like. You've experienced it. So you have the wisdom to know the different things that you enjoy when traveling. And as you check these things off your list, there's a couple of benefits of starting early. Number one is you may be able to take some of your family with you, which is pretty cool. Number two is tomorrow isn't promised to us, that there are things that happen that are outside of our control. Even if we're eating healthy and we're walking and we're getting the right amount of sleep and we're pretty active, we don't know what's going to happen in retirement. So, with that being said, the present sometimes ends up being something that we take for granted, where we're always looking for the future. Instead, enjoy the present. It's a gift. That's why it's named the present. I'm not sure who said that, but it is true. For those that don't think traveling around the world is something that they're really interested in, maybe you could get a second home, and that could be your beach home or your cottage in the quiet countryside. You can get this second home where you travel to that and you can enjoy yourself. Maybe you can take family and friends to that periodically. When it comes to travel and adventure, you get to decide exactly what brings you joy and happiness. So, however you want to design it, that's the beauty that you get. For others, you might want to lean in a little bit more on the adventure side. So you might want to go skydiving, or you want to go bungee jumping, or you want to run with the bulls in Mexico or something. I don't know what you want to do on your adventure trek, but I do know that now is a great time to start planning that. It's important to realize that I'm not telling you to forget about tomorrow. I'm simply saying we should put a plan in place so that you can do the things on your plan as soon as possible. That might mean that we have to wait 1 to 5 years, but it might mean that we only have to wait 1, 2, or 5 months. If it financially makes sense, you have the PTO days lined up, everything is set up, and we could do it this year, why not? Indulge yourself. Enjoy the beauty of retirement today. Number two on our list is personal enrichment. You've heard me talk many times about the people that go back to school to graduate. In fact, I was reading a study about this Chinese executive who was crushing it. His company was great, but I think he was turning 80, and he really wanted to go to med school. Well, he retired from his corporate job, he went to med school, and he was graduating from med school. Now, he didn't really say whether or not he was going to go practice medicine, but he said he always wanted to be a doctor. And so he went and did that. And he shares a story about his family thinking he's crazy and how difficult things were and some of the challenges, everything from people assuming that he was the professor when he was like, no, this is my first year in med school. And he talks about these different experiences, but he also talks about how rewarding it was, how amazing it felt. Now, while that is beautiful for him, it's also true that he probably could have found the time to do it a little bit earlier. Even though he was an executive, probably didn't have control of all of his time, it doesn't mean that he had to wait until 70, 80 years old. Now, granted, if you can, that's great. Those are wonderful things to do in retirement, but why not indulge yourself now? Why not go and add a certification or a course or degree or whatever it is that you've been thinking about? Passion projects, things that interest you. I remember I love storytelling. I love writing. And I remember going to the local university and taking a screenwriting class. It was a great experience. Now, am I going to write a movie? Well, never say never, but it was something that I enjoy doing, something that I love. And so it made sense for me to experience it while I still could. Now, granted, if I decided to do that in retirement, that's great, but it's something that we can indulge in right now. Next, when you're talking about personal enrichment, we could also explore the cultural aspects of things, whether that's our religion or going to theater, music, opera, all the beauty that we see in other people as they create these things. Maybe we can go experience a live play. Maybe we can go to a symphony. Maybe we can go to New York and experience Broadway or go to a local festival. There is so much being created, so much beauty in the world that we sometimes take it for granted that we're going to do all these things in retirement, but we could go to one play a year while we're still working. We could set aside maybe $100 from each paycheck to go towards one of these events. All we have to do is ask ourselves, what do I need to do to make this happen? And am I willing to pay that price? If we're willing to pay the price, then we can do this. We can do this tomorrow. We could do this next year, but we don't have to wait until retirement to do it. Third on our list is hobbies and craftsmanship. And for others, your hobbies may not be that structured as college. It may not be as engaging as interacting with other people. It could be us sitting in our backyard or driving out to the beach and taking photos. It could be us sitting in our living room and creating a painting. Or it could be us going to Home Depot or Lowe's and getting the materials to create something ourselves. A long time project, like a passion project, something that we could pay someone to do, but we don't mind spending a little bit of time ourselves. People do that with automobiles where they restore them. We could do that with updating our kitchen. We could do that with gardening and landscaping in our yard. There are so many hobbies and interests and opportunities for personal enrichment that we shouldn't just settle on the idea that all of these things are going to be done in retirement. Many of these things could be done today, and you should indulge in those activities. The third indulgence that I wouldn't wait for retirement to engage in is leisure and luxury. So this could be something as simple as a golf membership or a pickleball membership. This could be going to a spa or a gourmet restaurant. This could be you hiring a personal chef for a small intimate event with the family. This could be you participating in a wine tasting tour and drinking from the vineyards in France and Italy and other places around the world. You don't have to wait until retirement to do those amazing, luxurious ideas that you have. While there are studies that say that the majority of people are planning to retire broke where they have less than $5,000 set aside in retirement, it's also true that there's an equal number of people who aren't spending enough in retirement, that they're just not sure. They don't really have a plan in place. They knew that they needed to save money and they saved money. They're phenomenal savers. They didn't take any risky investments. They allowed their money to grow over a period of 10 to 40 years. And now they have over $1 million and they're just not sure if enough is enough. And so there's equal numbers that say there are people who have millions of dollars for retirement and yet they're not comfortable spending it. So what do you do to get comfortable doing something you're uncomfortable doing? Well, I would say you got to get practice at it. And as you get practice at it, you get a little bit better. All we need is a plan. We need to set aside how much money we can spend each year on these luxury events. And then, sure, let's go to the fancy steakhouse. Let's get tickets to the Super Bowl. Let's join that fancy golf club. Let's do all those luxury things we were thinking of, but let's indulge before retirement. Enjoy yourself. You've earned it. In fact, you may find out, which is one of those sneaky little tricks, if you're enjoying your time while working, you might be able to continue working just a little bit longer. You might be able to sit back and say, I enjoy the work that I'm doing. I'm able to detach from my work. My life is fulfilled in all these other places. I'm maintaining these amazing relationships. I'm not that stressed about retiring as I was. That is my only critique of the FIRE movement. As a high level, I like the FIRE movement. I like the idea of investing, saving 20 to 50% of your income. The difficulty that I have with the FIRE movement is it's not built in a sustainable way. The way I would describe it is if I told you that if you ate 500 calories a day, that you would lose 5 to 10 pounds every week, sure, you might enjoy the results, but you and I both know that's not a long-term decision. You're not going to be able to do that the rest of your life. Instead, if you're able to build the proper habits, you can then build a sustainable plan that then gives you the runway to be able to achieve all of your wildest dreams, but you don't have that anxiety and that feeling of discomfort knowing that you're doing something that you can't do forever and you're basically gambling. We're hoping that I'm able to do it long enough to see the result and then get out on top. But as you and I both know, that's not normally what happens. Normally what happens is we end up losing all of those gains and we go back at best to the place we originally were at. And at worst, we actually slide all the way back. And the way that will work in finance is if you're only living on 50% of your income, what you might say is, I'm working so hard, I'm burning both ends of the candle, I deserve this one nice thing. And whatever that nice thing is, maybe put it on a credit card, whatever it is, you're just like, I'm working really hard. I deserve that reward. And based on that scenario, I would agree. Of course you deserve that reward. You're literally burning both ends of the candle. But if we had something where you're able to enjoy life a little bit more, then you wouldn't feel that the world owed you something. You would instead feel, you know what? I'm rewarding myself small increments along the way. I'm putting $50, $100 from each check towards these amazing experiences, and then I'm experiencing them. I'm still investing a solid percentage towards my retirement, and now I have a sustainable plan because I'm enjoying every day of my life. I'm not sacrificing 5 to 10 years hoping that I'll be able to make it so that I can enjoy some more of my life. I'm enjoying now and I'm enjoying the future. We don't want to be on one extreme where we're sacrificing the present for the future, but we don't want to be on the other extreme where we're sacrificing the future for the present. Number 4 on our list is your home and lifestyle. When you're looking at your home, you might say, well, I want a different home, which is totally fine. We can put a plan together so you can purchase a new home. You might just want to update the home that you have. You might want to get new granite countertops. You might want to have a patio put in. You might want to have a pool put in. Whatever that looks like, we could put a plan together so you could update your current home. Now, sometimes what we're thinking is when I retire, I will update on my appliances. I'll be home more often, and then it will make a little bit more sense because I have the time to kind of oversee these projects, which is true and naturally makes sense. But at the same time, could you indulge a little bit? Could we maybe do one part of the house every single year? I think part of the challenge is when we're thinking about these projects, we're thinking of it as the entire project. Well, that's very expensive. That's very time consuming to do the whole house and all the things we want to do to the house. But what if we just picked one room and then we did something in that room for the entire year? And then the year after that, we went on to the next room or to the next project where we break it into bite-sized pieces. So that way now the experience is a lot less stressful and a little bit more enjoyable, and you're still getting to experience it now. Because the truth is we don't know if you're going to stay in the house when you retire. There are many times that we think we're going to stay in the same house, and then when we retire, maybe we don't feel like climbing stairs anymore. It's just kind of annoying. Maybe the relationship ends or we decide to downsize. There are a variety of reasons that we might not live in the same house. And instead of you getting to experience some of that joy in the moment while you're still in the house, now you're moving and you don't really get the same satisfaction that you originally would have gotten. So why not set up time, set up a budget so that you can redo your floors? Why not set up time and redo a budget where maybe you could pay someone to pressure wash, or you could pay someone to mow the grass if you don't want to mow it anymore? There are so many lifestyle changes that we can indulge in. We can have a maid come clean the house. We can do all these little things where we free up a lot more of our time, taking a lot of things off our plate. So that way we now have more time to relax, enjoy ourselves, almost create a portion of retirement while we're still working. For others of you, it may not be your home. It might be a car or a boat. There may be something that you're interested in getting. And the reason I chuckled when I thought of the boat is I was thinking of one client who had said, Dre, the best time in someone who owns a boat's life. And I was like, no, what? And he was like, well, the day you buy the boat and the day you sell the boat. And I just thought that was funny because he was talking about how you have to clean the boat, you have to put gas in the boat and all these other things. And I'm sitting there like, man, that's really tough. But if you want a boat and you plan on using your boat in retirement, maybe we could find a way to get the boat today. And maybe you don't want the boat. You don't want to have to do the upkeep, but you want the experience of it. There are many boat club memberships where you pay an activation fee, which is normally a couple $1,000s, and then you can call them up and have a boat ready for you. And then they do the cleaning and they do the gassing up and they do all those things, but you pay that monthly membership. There are so many ways that we can enjoy that retirement life today. Our fifth and final indulgence that you don't need to wait for retirement for is philanthropy and giving back. Whether you plan on donating your time to causes you believe in, or whether you plan on donating your money to causes that you believe in, it doesn't have to be this big thing. It's not that we need to be retired where we can give 20 to 40 hours a week towards these causes. If we can give one weekend a month, indulge in that. Get that same feeling of satisfaction. Know that you're still helping someone today, and you still get that joy today. Or if you're thinking about leaving a sizable portion of your estate to either family, friends, or a nonprofit or some cause or organization, first of all, I'll put a link to a video where I discuss 7 tax-free gifting strategies. But when you're talking about giving, it doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. If you want to give $50, if you want to give $100, if you just want to round up, the St. Jude and those different places where they just round up to $1, do you ever look at how much money is being generated just by people rounding up? Have you been to Firehouse Subs where they give rounding up change to the fire departments? The fact that millions of dollars is being raised for these charities and these causes, it means that we don't have to be giving these large lump sums, that we can give a set amount over a long period of time, and that amount will add up. Whatever the amount is that you have set, you can do that. If you're someone who has more of a passion project on their heart and you want to start a nonprofit, yeah, that's going to take a decent amount of time. But just as me, when I'm teaching and you just get better the more times that you do it, that'll be the same thing with you. Go ahead and start the process, see if you can put your board together, read the rules, and then just steadily build something. And then when you retire, guess what? You've already got those first years out of the way. And then you'll find that a lot of places, when they donate to nonprofits, they want to know that they've been around for a while. They want to know that they're already doing things in the community, because nobody wants to look like they're just giving money away to some fly-by-night operation. So the fact that you already established your nonprofit, the fact that you've already had events and been doing things on a smaller scale, sure, why not? But you've still been doing things. You've still been benefiting the community, and you still can get good publicity and raise funds for that. And there are lots of opportunities that exist where they have a minimum number of years that you have to be in business for. And if you start today, then when you retire, you're already going to qualify for all those events, and you can hit the ground running and build a very successful, long-reaching organization that brings you a lot of joy in retirement. But it also brought you a significant amount of joy today as you built towards your retirement. So as you can see, when it comes to the joys of retirement, there is no reason for you to wait until retirement. There's no reason for you to wait until everything is perfect. Let's go ahead and put a plan in place and see if we can enjoy some of the finer things that retirement has to offer today. If you found value in this video, I simply ask for you to like and subscribe so you can continue receiving valuable insights on how to create your own wealth and retirement system so that you can worry less and live more. Until next time, stay safe and enjoy life.